In the wake of the devastating nuclear attack on Iran by Saudi Arabia, the United Arab Emirates, and Israel, the United States military and government find themselves grappling with the negative public sentiment and media fallout that follows. Muslim nations around the world express their outrage at the attacks against Iran, holding the United States partially responsible for not doing enough to prevent this catastrophe. The situation is further exacerbated by Iran's earlier media campaign framing the U.S. military presence as an attack on the Muslim people, which fuels the anger and resentment towards the United States. As the international community reels from the shock and horror of the nuclear strike, the United States faces mounting pressure to mend relations and regain the trust of the Muslim world. However, the challenge is immense, as anti-American sentiment has reached a fever pitch in many countries, making it difficult for the U.S. to find a way forward. To address the crisis, the U.S. government and military begin devising strategies aimed at rebuilding trust and fostering goodwill among the affected nations. Additionally, the U.S. government works on increasing transparency and communication with the global community, hoping to demonstrate its commitment to peace and stability in the region. The consequences of the nuclear attack on Iran will likely reverberate for years to come, shaping the dynamics of international relations and influencing the course of future conflicts. Want to see more? You can now binge-watch all episodes of our series on our website. Get started today and explore the potential of the next world war. As the crisis in the Middle East continues to unfold, the reverberations are felt around the world. In an alarming development, local Arab and Muslim populations living in Western countries become targets of hate crimes as irrational anger and rage stemming from the war in the Middle East spills over into their communities. This disturbing trend sees an increase in incidents of harassment, violence, and discrimination against innocent individuals, simply due to their ethnicity or religious beliefs. Public spaces, places of worship, and even private homes become unsafe as extremists seek to vent their frustrations on those they perceive as being associated with the conflict. In response to this surge in hate crimes, leaders from various religious and cultural backgrounds call for unity and tolerance, urging the public not to fall prey to baseless stereotypes and to resist the temptation to blame entire communities for the actions of a few. Law enforcement agencies across Western countries step up their efforts to protect vulnerable communities and bring those responsible for hate crimes to justice. Governments and NGOs launch campaigns to promote understanding and respect for cultural diversity, aiming to counteract the rising tide of xenophobia and bigotry. Despite these efforts, tensions remain high, and the fear of further hate crimes continues to haunt Arab and Muslim communities. Families are forced to have difficult conversations with their children about staying safe and vigilant in the face of potential threats. As the world grapples with the far-reaching consequences of the conflict in the Middle East, it becomes increasingly clear that the battle is not just fought on the front lines, but also in the hearts and minds of people around the globe. The challenge of overcoming hatred and prejudice is one that must be confronted head-on if peace and understanding are to prevail. As the world grapples with the ongoing conflict in the Middle East and the resulting surge in hate crimes, a new and dangerous threat emerges. Taking advantage of the global chaos, opportunists and extremist groups begin launching terrorist attacks in major cities across the world, further complicating efforts to promote calm and civility. These attacks, indiscriminate and brutal in nature, sow fear and panic among already tense populations. Cities that were once considered safe havens now face a heightened risk of violence as opportunistic terrorists exploit the uncertainty and unrest for their own twisted ends. Communities are left reeling, as public spaces and iconic landmarks become targets for destruction and bloodshed. As the frequency and scale of these attacks escalate, governments worldwide find themselves facing a daunting challenge: how to protect their citizens and maintain order, while also addressing the root causes of the violence and working towards a lasting peace. This delicate balance demands a multifaceted approach, combining diplomacy, military action, and social initiatives to create a comprehensive strategy against terrorism. In an effort to combat the growing terrorist threat, nations around the world ramp up their counter-terrorism efforts. This includes increased intelligence sharing, enhanced surveillance, and a heightened police and military presence in high-risk areas. Specialized task forces are formed to coordinate these efforts, seeking to dismantle terrorist networks and disrupt their operations before they can strike again. However, these measures, while necessary, also raise concerns about the potential erosion of civil liberties and the risk of further alienating already marginalized communities. The delicate balance between security and freedom becomes a central point of debate as governments struggle to find the most effective and humane approach to combating terrorism. Questions arise over the long-term consequences of these actions as the fight against terrorism begins to reshape the fabric of society. Amid the violence and chaos, countless individuals and organizations work tirelessly to promote understanding, tolerance, and unity in the face of adversity. Grassroots initiatives, community outreach programs, and interfaith dialogues all play a vital role in fostering empathy and bridging divides between people of different backgrounds. Through their words and actions, they strive to counteract the influence of extremist ideologies and foster a climate of mutual respect and understanding. Despite the challenges they face, these efforts to promote peace and understanding serve as a beacon of hope in a world plagued by conflict and division. Their work stands as a testament to the resilience of the human spirit and the power of compassion to overcome even the most daunting obstacles. In a world gripped by fear and hatred, these voices of reason and empathy offer a vision of a brighter future, where unity and understanding can ultimately triumph over terror and discord. Make sure to subscribe and hit the notification bell to stay informed about the latest World War III worst-case scenario episodes. Thank you for watching. To stay up to date with our latest releases, all you've got to do is follow us across our various social media platforms. We're talking Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, you name it, we're there. Thank you for watching our channel. There's a whole lot more where that came from. Interested in binge-watching all episodes today? Head over to our website to access our entire media library using the URL link in the description. Ready to test your World War II knowledge? What was a Liberty Stake? Provide your answer or response in the YouTube comment box below. Stay tuned for the right answer. The answer is what we call a hamburger today. In the aftermath of the devastating nuclear attacks on Iran and the chaos that has engulfed the region, it becomes increasingly clear that the Iranian government has collapsed. An uprising of rogue factions, composed of various extremist groups, remnants of the Iranian military, and other armed individuals, takes up arms to continue the war against the United States, NATO, and opposing countries in the region. Driven by a desire for revenge and a burning hatred for their perceived enemies, these factions begin launching a series of brutal and unrelenting attacks. United by a shared enmity towards the West and its allies, these disparate groups pose a significant challenge to the international efforts to restore stability and security in the region. Faced with this new and rapidly evolving threat, the United States and its allies must adapt their strategies to counter the growing influence and capabilities of these rogue factions. This includes coordinating closely with regional partners, sharing intelligence, and conducting targeted military operations to disrupt and dismantle the various factions' command structures and supply lines. At the same time, the international community must work to address the underlying grievances and social, economic, and political factors that have given rise to these extremist groups. This involves engaging in diplomatic efforts, promoting inclusive governance, and providing humanitarian assistance to alleviate the suffering of the civilian population. As the conflict enters this new and complex phase, the stakes are higher than ever. With rogue factions fighting to prolong the war and continue the cycle of violence, the need for a comprehensive and coordinated international response has never been more urgent. The path to peace and stability in the region will be long and fraught with challenges, but it is a journey that the international community must undertake to prevent further suffering and destruction. As the situation in Iran deteriorates and rogue factions continue to wage war, the United States and other Western nations recognize the urgent need to intervene and initiate peace talks. They rush into the Iranian region, hoping to engage with the various factions and broker a lasting peace agreement that could bring much-needed stability to the area. However, efforts to negotiate with the Iranian factions prove to be an almost impossible task. The United States and NATO military leaders find themselves unable to identify the key faction leaders amidst the civilian population. The lines between combatants and non-combatants become increasingly blurred, making it difficult for negotiators to determine who they should be talking to and which groups hold real influence in the region. The challenge of identifying faction leaders and negotiating with them is further complicated by the fact that many of these groups operate in secret and are highly distrustful of foreign involvement in their affairs. This distrust is fueled by the ongoing conflict, as well as a long history of foreign intervention in the region. Despite these formidable obstacles, the United States and its Western allies remain committed to finding a peaceful resolution to the crisis. They continue to search for ways to build trust and establish lines of communication with the various factions, while also working to address the root causes of the conflict and alleviate the suffering of the civilian population. As the international community continues its efforts to broker peace in Iran, a chilling new development unfolds. Local Iranian peacekeepers and aid organizations who have been working tirelessly to alleviate suffering and promote stability suddenly find themselves under attack. These violent incidents leave numerous dedicated individuals dead or injured, dealing a heavy blow to the ongoing peace efforts. The attackers, suspected to be rogue factions opposed to any form of negotiation or reconciliation, aim to undermine attempts at restoring order and unity in the region. Despite the heartbreaking loss of life and the immense challenges they face, the surviving peacekeepers and aid workers remain determined to carry on their vital work. Their unwavering dedication serves as a powerful reminder of the resilience of the human spirit and the importance of continuing the struggle for peace, even in the darkest of times. Want to see more? You can now binge-watch all episodes of our series on our website. Get started today and explore the potential of the next world war. Arm yourself with the power of advanced AI for video creation, high-quality copy generation, a diverse range of freelance services, top-notch hosting options, and the ultimate online privacy protection. Don't miss out on exclusive discounts and promotions. Sign up today by clicking on the links in the description. Your journey towards creating compelling content starts now.